Welcome to another top whatever type of list. This is my opinion anyways, the top 10, the top 18 best DC ongoing series in 2018. Yep, of course, this is my list, this is my opinion. You don't have to agree, you can agree or disagree with me on this list, but some of these ones basically, yeah, it makes sense the fact that these make this list because these comics are really damn good. Or in the case of like somebody like, really? That made your list? That's your opinion one of the best series this year? This is the ongoing series DC. The reason why I did this because there was so many good comics both basically this year from ongoing series, both DC and Marvel. So I figured though I split them up. And same thing with limited series. I put that in a separate list. And don't worry, there will be a counterpart of this one for the disappointing list for DC. I'm not sure I mean right now. It's just disappointing series for this year for DC. All right, number 18, and this is actually a tie. I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Six of these 18 ones are actually ties. This one is of two series that just started, and that's Justice League Dark and Justice League Odyssey. Justice League Dark, written by James Tynion IV. Justice League Odyssey, written by Joshua Williamson, the guy who also writes The Flash, and I'll get to Flash. Yep. Two really dang good comic books. Fun fact, James Tynion was supposed to write Justice League Dark back in 2015. Yes, he was supposed to write this 3 years ago. As well, he wrote the replacement series, which is a continuation of this one called Dark Universe. But for some reason, got canceled, and whatever ideas he had for the book was folded into Constantine the Hellblazer for some strange reason. I don't know why. It was bizarre. And then he gets this book, and like, wow, such a damn good line. I even spoke to Neil Adams about this series. And even though one of the characters he did create is actually in this series, he's more happy with a different character in this book. Now, this lineup is quite ingenious. You have Wonder Woman, Zatanna, John Constantine, Swamp Thing, Man-Thing, and Detective Chimp. Yes, Neil Adams loves Detective Chimp, so he was so happy to see it that Detective Chimp made this group. And the book has been really good. It's only been about 8 issues in. Heck, they even had a crossover with Wonder Woman called The Witching Hour. Fantastic story involving the return of Cersei. I think it's actually the first time Wonder Woman fought Cersei post Flashpoint. Actually, no, scratch. This is the first time since Superman and Wonder Woman that she's actually fought Cersei. But first time in her own title that she's fought Cersei, which I think was fantastic. And it was a brief her turning to like something else. But it was a really dang good story. Odyssey. Great concept for a series. Justice League team operating out of outer space. Based on one of Brainiac's spaceships. Also, Dark, Justice League Dark doesn't... I don't know what the base operations is, because in the previous series, it was the I believe was the House of Mystery. Yes, the House of Mystery, which John Constantine won the ownership of that particular house via a card game he played. No, it's not Yu-Gi-Oh! I think he played poker. Yeah, that was the base operations. This one, I'm not really sure what the base operations is, but really good series. And I love the line for Justice League Odyssey. You have Azrael, Starfire, Jessica Cruz, Cyborg. The team is even led by Darkseid of all people, which I thought was really weird, but it's a really damn good series. Why I make below this? Because two just started, so yeah, there's that. Number 17, this one's not technically a tie, but this series are under two different names. New Superman / New Superman the Justice League of China. In my opinion, one fantastic comic book. Too bad it got canceled this year after 24 issues. I still don't know why DC canceled this for. At least in the case of Superwoman and Blue Beetle was due to low sales. This one bugs me. Like, why would you cancel such a fantastic title? Heck, they had just introduced during the final issues. They introduced the Korean Aquaman. Yes. Even though, yes, most of his characters are rip-offs, Asian rip-offs of no American superheroes. But I love the concept. I just freaking love this series. Yeah. And the writer, I think he's actually Chinese. I believe he is. He wrote American Chinese, which is, I've never read it, but it's fantastic. But I've heard it's really good. I started familiar with this writer via his when he started his brief run on Superman. And he got this. Originally it was going to be called the Superman, but they couldn't find a Chinese equivalent, so they call him New Superman. Heck, this character's even popped up for a couple issues of Deathstroke. Yes, he has. I love the series. I don't know why it was canceled. It's so bizarre. Heck, they even changed the name just Superman Justice League, the new Superman Justice League of China, because they're part of the group. So why not? I thought it was weird though that this. I thought was really weird. Like first looks like he was interested in being with the Chinese version of Lois Lane, and then they change it to him hooking up with the female Flash. Yeah, I thought this was really weird. But one freaking good book. Number 16, and I'm not happy this book got canceled after 6 issues. Mother Panic, Gotham AD. One fantastic comic book. Yeah, it was set in the future, after the events of Milk Wars. Yeah, and I'm still wondering why in the world DC canceled X's book after only 6 issues. Like, every single book under Young Animal, except for Doom Patrol, all got axed. This was like right after Milk Wars, like all the books got relaunched, except for Doom Patrol. And they all got canceled after 6 issues. Yes, set in the future, like about 10 years after Milk Wars, because the character Violet is a little bit older. Heck, they have the Joker pop up in here, Jason Todd, though apparently Todd killed off Tim Drake, Nightwing, kill off Red Robin, Nightwing, and Damian. I thought that was really weird. Yeah, and in this future, apparently Batman disappeared. Excuse me, yeah, as far as I can tell, I think they did wrap up whatever storyline arc they were doing. But the series got abruptly canceled, but I love Mother Panic. It's a fantastic character. I own the 2 trades that collect the first series. I haven't got Gotham AD yet, but I'm planning on getting it in the near future. But, man, why was this series canceled for? So bizarre. Alright. Number 15. This is actually the second time this one. Trinity and Red Hood and the Outlaws. Man, Trinity. This one I thought that was a little weird, the fact this book went through a few different writers. Like, first it was Francis Manapul, then it was Rob Williams for a while, and then throughout the final issues it was James Robinson, which I thought was a little weird, but hey, at least you picked damn good writers. And I love the fact about like Warlord in the final issues of this particular series, and it was just a really damn good series. Sad to see it go, but probably the sales were slipping, and they probably just felt as though they wanted to end it. Red Hood and the Outlaws, and I spoke to Scott Liddell about this, and he agrees. He's very happy with my opinion. This book is a heck of a lot better than his original Red Hood and the Outlaws run, which was basically controversial. This one was a lot better. I love the lineup he had for the book. That was a little weird that he had Artemis and Bizarro dropping the book, but the book has been really good. I haven't reviewed it yet, but when I read about it, I read the series is really good. Alright, number 14, Damage and Sideways. I put these two on here because, well, in the case of Damage, because the character himself is created by one of my favorite artists, Tony S. Daniel. And even though all he is just DC's version of the Hulk. But here's kind of something really weird about this particular character. Now, I spoke to my friend Tivy about this a few times, and even he's shocked about this. With the exception of one issue. Generally, whenever any issue of this series comes out, they release an issue of Weapon H the same week, which I thought that was really weird. And I don't know if it's by sheer coincidence. Like, they even had it where in the Damage, they had him take on frickin' Swamp Thing, and then over at Marvel, the Weapon H character took on Man Thing, which is Swamp Thing's equivalent at Marvel. Yeah, Sideways. Really good character. I love the artwork for this series. I thought that was really weird. I thought it was cool that they brought in the 7 Soldiers, the Grant Morrison characters. That was really nice. Though, one thing I thought was really weird was the Sideways Annual, where they brought back the New 52 Superman. I don't know why. It was bizarre. That's why I think this character's been dead for 2 years. I don't know why he came back. You know, I know this is New 52 Superman because it's t-shirt and jeans, because traditionally Superman doesn't wear it. And even though that this technically is not this is not the regular Superman, they consider it Superman, which I thought was really weird. Though I did hear a rumor that DC just ended Sideways, but that was kind of odd. Damage, I think, is one of the best titles they've actually come out with. Number 13, this is actually another one of the new wave titles, or new heroes. This is the Terrifics, which is technically, I've heard some people describe it as DC's take on Fantastic Four. Yeah, I do kind of believe that, but I also kind of believe they're also their take on the Future Foundation because it's basically all the characters wear the same uniforms. I mean, this lamp is actually really ingenious. It's Mr. Terrific, Metamorpho. I think this other character is from the Leech Heroes. I think his name Breeze. I think it is. Trying to think, there was anybody else. Well, they also were looking for Tom Strong from ABC Comics. I thought that was a little weird. Yeah, and of course that the book even had Star. The book was kind of also a partial follow up to, kind of in a way, Metamorpho's post Flashpoint origin story, like what happened with Sapphire Stagg, where she's in a relationship. I'm glad the fact they kind of continued the thing with her, but not really. Though the recent issue ended with the team disbanding because they fixed the problem that happened at the end of issue 3, where even though that they came back to regular reality, they apparently could be far apart from each other because of the whole thing of them basically almost nearly exploding. And Mr. Terrific was I even like how Mr. Terrific was written in this series. This is written by Jeff Lemire, and I believe this is also the artist who did his artist from Just Like United, which fantastic. I'm stupid for DC. Basically changed the concept for the series with Jeff Parker. Parker himself was a fantastic writer, but man, this guy did not understand how to do Just Like United at all. But I even liked that he was bitter at Simon Stagg for buying out his company without his permission. It was not even up for sale, and yet he just bought it from under him. He basically was trying to fight to get back his own damn company because he went to Earth 2, and yet somehow the company went up for sale during this period of time. Even I thought this was really weird. Like, why? Because he was missing? You couldn't just came to Tiny without him? Instead, you just said Terrific Tech got sold to Simon Stagg. Oh, and fun fact, who actually bought the company pre-crisis? Pre-Flashpoint? Why? It was actually bought by Wayne Enterprises. Yes, Terrific Tech was a subsidiary of that company. Yeah. Alright, number 12. And this has been a really fantastic title. I've loved every single issue of the series, and I'm glad it's not ending anytime soon. Suicide Squad, which takes the number 12 spot. Really damn good title. Rob Williams himself is doing a fantastic job with it. Of course, you have people like Tony S. Daniel. I was surprised you had John Romita Jr. do the artwork. At the start of this year, we also, of course, had Tony S. Daniel, but I love what Rob Williams is doing in the book, and it seems like this guy, it seems like his run is sort of a semi-love letter to John Ostrander run from the original run from the late 80s, early 90s. That's what it seems like to me, especially since he brought back Rick Flag at the start of this book 2 years ago. Alright. Number 10, Harley Quinn. Despite the figure change of writers, yeah, the book's writer has changed at least 3 times now. First it was Jim Pineman Carter at the start of it, and then we have Frank Terry briefly, and then Sam Humphries, and once again we changed it again to somebody else, but the book has been consistently really good. Despite change of writers, unlike another book I know of, where it dropped pretty much most of the supporting cast once the creative team changed, which I thought was really stupid. Yep. Alright. Number 9, Wonder Woman. Yep, despite the fact that despite the fact this book has had 3 different writers this year, really damn good book. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Especially like Robinson's work for the book is just really damn good. Especially the whole thing of the storyline being a follow-up to Darkseid War, which I thought was awesome. Number 8, Detective Comics. Twice changed writers, but still really good. Tini wrapped up his run this year. We had a brief run by Brian Hill, who actually is doing the Batman Universe book, which was supposed to come out this month, but DC pushed it to next month. I think they pushed it to February for some reason. I don't know why, it was bizarre. But I even like the fact Going the Outside was simply a backdoor pilot to a new Batman The Outsiders series, which I love The Outsiders, and I'm so happy DC's bringing this character group back. Especially as the last ongoing series ended, as of right now, 7 years ago. Yes, it's been 7 years. I don't know why DC didn't keep this group around. It was so bizarre. Number 7, Aquaman / The Silencer. Yep, Aquaman. Dan Abnett, fantastic run this year. Even though he just wrapped up his run, and we have the first issue this month released from Kelly Suhanik. Great replacement, by the way. And I love New Direction so far. It's even though it's only one issue in, but I love it. It is fantastic. I even like this year. That was odd though. Aquaman was part of 2 crossovers this year, which was first it was Sink Atlantis, and then it was Drowned Earth. But both were really damn good storylines. The Silencer, Dan Abnett creation series, started just this year with Jeremy Jr. Ridge on the artwork. And I've heard people describe this as DC's take on the Punisher. But for my opinion, this take not only on that, but also on Kick-Ass. Because the outfit's very similar to Kick-Ass. Even though it's all white and it's a woman. I even like the fact that in the pages of Super Sons, they actually references the first arc of the series in the final arc of Super Sons, which I thought was fantastic. Because Leviathan was having a civil war, so it was great that they referenced this series. Yep. Number 6, the Green Lantern titles. Green Lantern, Green Lanterns, and Hal Jordan Green Lantern Corps. Fantastic titles. Yeah. Then Diddy, I loved what he did with this book, and sad to see the book go, but he did stuff this year which was fantastic. Brought back the Dark Stars, which was really interesting. I mean, yeah, last of these guys shows back in the 90s. Yeah, well, a few people didn't know who the Dark Stars were. I mean, I knew who they are because I read their ongoing series recently, like just this year. So I had a pretty good idea who they are. Bring back the Controllers, which are kind of like evil guardians. And bring back the Space Cabbie, which actually was really early on. But fantastic title. I haven't finished collecting the trades yet, but this was a really damn good series. And it didn't change writers. 50 issues, no change. Excuse me. For Green Lantern, this one, the creative team changed this book twice. First it was, well, actually, Infinite Skybros was actually one of the artists. Even though that Hal Jordan Corps did have one writer throughout its 50 issues, it had at least about 3 different artists. Though that was basically going around, and Infinite Skybros drew most of the book anyways. In the case of Green Lanterns, which was started 2 years ago by Sam Humphries, this year's book, he left the book, and Tim Stilly took over, which I thought that was interesting, and doing an arc featuring aliens kidnapping C-list superhero, which I thought that was interesting. And then you capped off this book with Dan Jurgens and Mike Perkins in the book. Yeah, I actually talked to Chuck Dixon about Dan Jurgens. He loves Dan Jurgens' work, and it's fantastic. In fact, he did the final issue of this book, and man, this guy, it seemed like the final issues were set up for the Grant Morrison Green Lantern, which I thought was really interesting that Grant Morrison was doing Green Lantern in the first place. Because last time he wrote a Green Lantern was in JLA back in the late 90s. Yeah. So, it's good to have all these on here. Number 5, and my friend Tivia basically would be upset if I didn't put this on the list. Super Sons! Yep, and I even have all the trades for Super Sons. I haven't got the first trade collected yet. I don't think it's been released yet. First trade for Avengers Super Sons. Super Sons, I do agree, it is one fantastic title. Sad to see it go because of Bendis. Even Tomasi basically said the only reason why the book ended the book was because DC had no idea what Bendis' plan for Superman was. Yeah, though his other plans were something else altogether. Really love this title. And I'm glad the fact I own all the trades for it. It's actually 4 trades. It's 3 volumes plus the crossover storyline Super Sons of Tomorrow. Like, if you like Damian, if you like John Kent, or if you like Damian, get this book. It's only there's 4 trades. I have heard this is gonna be an omnibus book. Yeah, Tomasi told me there is gonna be an omnibus book coming out. I think maybe soon, probably next year. But yeah. Fantastic. I made number 5. Number 4, and these books written by the same person, once again, just like Aquaman the Silencer, Just Like America / Supergirl. Well, Steve Orlando is no longer the writer of the book. Yeah, Orlando basically wrote this book in Just Like America. Just Like America, I own all the trades except for the last 2. I do not own them yet. I'm planning to get in the near future. Yeah, it was sad to see Just Like America go. I heard that originally the plan was to put the book on hold because no surrender this year. I will get a chance to view that soon, so I'm gonna hold off on reviewing. I'm gonna hold off my thoughts on that until I review the main miniseries again because I read it and I thought it was really enjoyable. But in the case of Just Like America, this was a really damn good title. I love the lineup that Steve Valeno had in this book. You had Batman, Black Canary, Lobo, the Ray, I think it was the Roy Shield Atom, and toward the end of the book he added Aztec, which was great. The fact they brought back Aztec goes up the original Aztec. It's a female Aztec, which I thought that was a little weird, but it's great the fact they brought back Aztec during the final issues of the book. Heck, I even like the fact toward the end of the book they brought back the character Havoc, who was the main villain in the first arc of the series. But the one thing this book had over Justice League, at least that this book had characters fighting villains, not fighting random monsters for 20 issues, which, in my opinion, was stupid. Yep. As Supergirl, fantastic book. I even like the fact Jody Holster co-wrote the last few issues of the book with Steve Valeno, and right now Mark Andrego took over the book, and he's doing a really good job. Originally, I heard DC was going to end this book, but they decided to not do. They withdrew that cancellation because now they know what Bendis' plans are, so they have Mark Andrego take over, and it's really good so far. It's only a few issues. It's only about 5 issues, but it's really good. Number 3, The Flash and Batwoman. Yeah, Flash still consistently really good the past 2 years. I know Venditti's run was kind of mixed for some people, but man, Williamson's run, so good. Flash War. Yeah, that was an awesome storyline. We also had, I think it was last year we had the Button. We had like few really good storylines in Flash. And I really love the fact Williamson is a big nerd when it comes to basically classic Flash stories. Yeah, bring back the Rogues and all these other stuff. Excuse me. Yeah, they even had, like, in the Flash War, they had Wally. They bring back Wally's pre-Flashpoint memories, which I thought was really good. Yep. And bring in Reverse Flash was fantastic. Having a future version of Captain Cold being in the past and hanging out with Barry is fantastic. Heck, even Wolf, who was the warden of Ironhide's prison, can easily point out, though, yeah, you look like Snark, but you're not the present-day version of Snark. Yep, he could tell just by looking at him because he looks different. Yeah. Batwoman, fantastic tale. Can't wait to get my hands on the final trade. I have the first 2 trades for it. Marjorie Bennett did a fantastic job with the book. I was kind of surprised the book ended after 18 issues, though I have heard a rumor the book is coming back because Batwoman was recently featured on TV in the All Squad, which I haven't watched it yet, so please, anybody who watched it, please don't spoil it for me in the comments below. Yeah. Alright. Number 2, Justice League. And I should point out, this is Christopher Priest and Scott Snyder's runs, not Hitch's. Hitch is something else. It seemed like once Priest took over the book, once Brian Hitch left, once he had the book got a lot better. We had the first 2 issues after him being a part of the Bats from Hell storyline, and then we have Christopher Priest take over, which, great choice, by the way. Yeah, first time he had written the Justice League book since the 90s, which was like Task Force, which DC is collecting that, by the way. Yeah, I think he also wrote Justice League America also as well, but he didn't write Justice League Europe or Justice League International. I don't think he wrote those 2 books, but yeah. Love his book. And Scott Snyder, man, this book feels like, we read this book, it kind of feels like you're reading JLA. Yeah, it has a similar feeling to it. Plus, I even like the fact they made he brings in Legions of Doom, and they're actually not comic relief like they were in Super Friends. They actually are pretty serious. I love the lineup for the group, which is basically Lex Luthor, the Joker, Black Manta, I think the Cheetah, and Sinestro. Really fantastic group. I love this lineup. It's fantastic. And I even like the fact that they have the classic headquarters of Legion of Doom, which is the Upside Down Skull. But instead of being a swamp, you won't believe where it is. They reveal this in a recent issue. It's on the freaking moon. Yes, the Legion of Doom headquarters is on the moon. Yeah, it's it's just so good. Christopher Priest, I love what he did with the book, and he did something Hitch just didn't care to do. Actually have stuff take place on the Watchtower. I think Hitch may have had this once or twice through this whole entire run. At least Priest actually bothered to feature the Watchtower. hmm Heck, I even like the fact that he has a similar style. The artist has a similar to that of his other book he does, which I will get to that. Yep. But Priest, man, this guy had one fantastic book, and I loved it. Heck, they even reference stuff that happened just like America, even Detective Comics, which really good. All right. And number one, I think for some people it's quite obvious because I love Christopher Priest's work. My number one best comic from DC Comics as an ongoing series, Deathstroke. Yes, Deathstroke. A title that's still really good. For the past 2 years, it's just been consistently really good. I own all the trades that have been released so far. I love this series. I love what Priest has done. I can't wait to get my hands on Batman vs. Deathstroke. I can't wait to review that particular storyline. Currently, the story arc right now is this Deathstroke arc, which I think was going to be next arc after the whole Defiance run right there, but because they had that crossover with Batman, that got me superior. But man, this series, like The Flash, has been like The Flash and Wonder Woman and Detective Comics. These books have been consistently good for the past 2 years. I love every single issue of this entire series so far. Just too bad they haven't acknowledged the fact this book is published over 100 issues. Yeah, which I thought was a little weird. I think it's about like 137 issues so far because if you look at the first volume was 60 issues, the second volume was like 20, the third volume was also 20, which brought up to like 100, and of course this one's about 37 issues, so it was 137 issues, and I think it has about 6 annuals so far, but it's really good. Love it. Fantastic. Though I thought it was odd, though, that they set up the whole thing with Defiance, and the storyline just ends after only having it around for like 10 issues, which I thought was a little weird. Though also that was weird that I think it was last year. Yeah, last year on the same time the Button was released, we had the Lazarus contract, and after that, for some reason, Deathstroke, which had published twice a month prior to that storyline, for some reason they decided to switch it from twice a month to once a month, which I thought was a little weird. But I've loved every single issue since then. I mean, despite the change in publication schedule, at least Christopher Priest actually kept it consistently good throughout this period of time. Yep. I even thought it was interesting when he started the series to face off against the Clock King. And I'm not talking about the one Jeff Lemire came up with. Oh no, I'm talking about the original Clock King. From the 60s. Yeah. But without his mask. Which I thought was great. The fact they brought the Clock King. Okay, so that's it for this particular top 18 best DC ongoing series in 2018. Stay tuned for my disappointing list, and you'll find out what made disappointing list when I get a chance to do. Okay, but I'm also planning on doing today. At this point, I might do that tomorrow. But I think my next video I'm planning on doing is a review of the newest episode, JoJo's Adventures. Okay, but do this next review. Bye.